Hello, hello, it's Enestor. I'm here with another Wi-Fi battle against my buddy G.Yee. Link in the description below. Hope you guys enjoy this new layout. Hunter made it for me in exchange for me recording a battle for him. So thank you, Hunter, for this nice layout. So that's why it looks sort of like his. But let's hop right into this battle. This battle was a little bit a while ago, so I'm sorry if I don't remember exactly what happens. But I do remember that this... that me and G.Yee do have very, very similar outfits, if not the same. So I decided to lead off with my Aegislash. That was a poor decision because I don't know. I don't even know why. Because like obviously this Landorus wants to set up the Stealth Rocks against me because I have this Dragonite. So he wants to break my multi-scale, which he indeed does. Well, later in the battle you'll see. But I decided to go for the Shadow Ball just to see how much damage I can do. Based on that damage, I'm like, yeah, this might be a little bit of the support kind of Chester, or Landorus, not Chester. So I decided to go for the Kink Shield, just trying to see what this guy wants to go for. I think he does go for the Earthquake, just trying to get as much damage as he can right now. That was the smarter play, so I'm starting to think maybe that switching out would be the best option right here. I think right now I decided to go into my Caesar. No, I go into my Weight Watchers predicting the Earthquake. I'm not sure if this was the right play because he does go in for the Earthquake, but I sort of question as to why I went for it. So I think this turn I do go for the Dragon Dance, or I go for the Dragon Claw. That's not going to do that. I think that does a decent chunk, but not that much. He goes for the U-turn. That's not going to do that much since he's not that much invested into attack based on the fact that he's physically defensive based on that damage. So he sends out his JR, aka his Heatran, and I'm like starting to think, what can this thing have? Maybe HP Ice. So I decided to switch right into my Tyranitar just to test this theory out. Probably should have gone into my Caesar just because that probably would have been, that thing resists it a little bit better, takes it on a little bit nicer too, minus the whole flame thing. So he goes for the HP, and I'm not sure what it is, but I'm assuming at this point it's most likely HP Ice, and since I am T-Tar, I can take whatever he wants. He knows that. He doesn't want his air balloon to be broken, so he decided to send out his Tony the Caesar, which is pretty smart. I decided to set up my Stealth Rocks because I didn't know what he wanted to do. So seeing that he brought in his Caesar, I do believe that I wanted to switch right into my Aegislash because Aegislash literally does... No, I send in my Caesar? What in the world am I doing? I think he goes for the U-turn if I am correct, because that's definitely the smartest, safest play to do. And that does a good chunk against Caesar, unfortunately. So going into Aegislash would have been better, so I'm just learning from my mistakes right now. So he sends out his Chester to get off the Intimidate on me, and it's going to make me... And then I guess Chester also does a good job just walling me in general because both my stabs are resisted by him. So I do believe I would go for the hard... Oh, he goes for the Earthquake. I thought I'd go for a hard switch, but I didn't. I do manage to live, thankfully, but unfortunately I don't think I'll live the Stealth Rocks right after. And the U-turn did pitiful damage. So there goes... I decided to switch right out into my Alakazam just because I just needed some momentum for myself. I needed to ensure that I would get this kill. I didn't want to send in Weight Watchers quite yet because it can be walled by a lot of things. I go for the safe Shadow Ball just because I wanted to make sure that he didn't want to be cheeky and just send in his Caesar like, oh, I went for a Psychic and I resist. He resists it. So he sends in his Berry, the Tyranitar. So right now I question it. I think he was attempting to Pursuit Trap me right now, so I was like, yeah, I'm better off just trying to stay in. I go for the Focus Blast. Thankfully I hit, and I'm almost 100% sure I'll kill it, but Barry is too bulky and he is indeed trying to Pursuit Trap me. So, and I do live it without the Focus Sash, which is very interesting. It tells me that he's not he's sort of the utilities kind of T-Tar based on that. I go for the safe Energy Ball because I'm not about to roll the dice again with Focus Blast, and there goes the T-Tar. So that, I believe, is a little bit of an advantage for me. He sends out his Caesar, and I'm like, I'm not sure if I want to let Alakazam quite die yet, but he does go for the Pursue. I forgot completely that Caesar does get Pursue, and I was fearing the safe bullet punch. So nice play by G.Yee. So I know that now he's most likely choice banded, so I can send out my T-Tar safely, and I do believe he decides to send out his staples, his Latios, which was questionable in my opinion. I'm not exactly sure. He might have thought that I was like, I guess utility is not offensive, but I am. So poor G.Yee just lost his Latios, which could have done a lot of work against my team. Well, a decent chunk. Could have done a lot more than what it did. So it sends out his Tony, the Caesar. So I'm starting to think, what can I do anything? I decide to switch right into my H/, I believe, or I send out my Caesar for Death Fodder, just try to see what he wanted to do. So there goes my Caesar. Bye, Caesar. I'm gonna miss you. You could have been really, you did work for the most part, not really. So he goes for the U-turn. So I'm like, okay, he's gonna lock himself into that. I see. So I send out my Aegis, knowing completely well that I can get away with a Shadow Ball. I could have gone for a King Shield to essentially force this thing to do nothing, but it didn't really matter to me. I just wanted to get damaged as fast as possible. I'm not about waiting too long. So he sends out his George Sr. Oh my god, this thing is so bulky. So I go for the Shadow Ball, and you guys are going to see that George Sr. is able to eat this up pretty nicely, except I think I get the crit right here. So even with a crit, that still wasn't able to kill George Sr. So I knew that this thing was most likely bulky and very, very much, and it is his Mega. So I'm starting to think, oh no, this thing is going to be annoying to deal with and favored by. So I switch right into King Shield form just to see what he wanted to do. And I do believe he goes for the Leech Seed, which was the best play for him to do. Or he goes for Synthesis, which was the better play for him to do, which was, yeah. So since I can't really do anything because Mega Venusaur is super, super bulky in special side, so I know that I won't be doing anything right now. So he goes for the Hidden Power. And I'm starting to think, oh god, this can be one of like 4 things at this point. But I think it might be like Hidden Power Fire, because I don't know, things that are Hidden Power Ground. I'm not 100% sure which one it can be, but I'm just going to go off the bat that it might be Hidden Power Ground for this match. So I go for the Shadow Ball. I get the special defense drop. He goes for the Hidden Power again. I know that I was really banging that he would go for the Synthesis again. So I don't regret just staying in shield form, but that could have been useful to keep Aegis alive. So I send out my Gonzalez. I think that I go for the Shadow Ball right here because it will guarantee a kill because I am choice specs, and he did get the special defense drop. So George Sr. was no longer allowed to live. He sends out his Heatran. I am thinking, yeah, I'm gonna have to just pop this balloon right now. So I do go for the Shadow Ball because I was thinking that maybe a Dragonite can start putting in work, but he roars me out. So that was sort of useful for me because I could have used Jolteon again with a different move now. But here's where I completely screwed up. I completely forgot that Dragonite has like a really low base speed. So I thought, oh, Heatran is slow, I can outspeed it, but nope, Heatran is actually pretty fast, and there goes Weight Watcher. So I send out my Gonzalez. I go for praying that I can finish off the rest of his team with T-Bolts. I know JR won't be able to take one because the Shadow Ball did about half, and now that it's Stab. So he sends out his Tony. I know he's forced to go for the Bullet Punch. I'm just hoping that I can live one because it is resisted. He goes for the Bullet Punch. My HP is going down. It's going down, and I do live pretty nicely. And I think that Tony does not take this as easily as Gonzalez did. So good battle with my boy G.Yee. Check him out in the description. And as always, this has been Enestor, and I will see you guys later.